Alright, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bahadash. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly called God and Jehovah. Bahashem meaning in the name of Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Giving double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule well and taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to all our Akim, the brothers is pushing his word and truth and in all sincerity. It's Brother Ganan from DC Church coming back at you with a quick video. As you can see, it's on the go. So I'm gonna just have my camera pointed this way. But as you can see, the title is "This is a Spiritual Fight." So we gotta remember that every single day. Sometimes you want to do something that may be worldly, which is okay. The scriptures talk about not being over righteous. It's going to be things. There's going to be hobbies in the world that we indulge in. Like me personally, I love sports. In particular, professional sports. NFL, NBA. Like that's like a worldly vice for myself. But even when you're indulging in those things, you still got to be walking in the spirit and understanding that this is a spiritual fight. And you really want to harp on that it's spiritual. It's spiritual, man. You may have situations coming at you on the flesh, but everything starts in the spirit. And I remember when I was younger in the truth, kicking it with the Elder Kasap. And he was dropping game. Matter of fact, the officer Sean was there, and he just reminded me, a couple of days ago about what the Elder Kasap said. And basically, at the time, we were spitting out our videos. Being younger, you're a little more zealous on the topics that you go into, how often you go into it, and when you're going into it in your life. And I remember, I had a video. I came at the something about the women, and the Elder Kasap said, basically, when you come at the woman, like she's tied to Satan, so they're going to use that in the spiritual fight against you, and so basically, you pick a fight in the spirit, you're going to have to end up fighting that fight, in your flesh, but it's spiritual. It's a spiritual fight, and my situation in particular, it was hard for me to find a woman at the time. Like after, a little bit after that, that was the fight that was brought towards me. It's a little tougher than usual to get a woman. So now you're going through, you're not hitting nothing, you're burning to a certain degree, which can bring frustrations, which can bring distractions, can bring all type of things into this spiritual fight that we're in. So you got to remember that when you're going through something. And I remember traveling in Jersey one time when I was younger in the truth, and one of the brothers, I forget his name, what he said was, brothers will have these extravagant titles, brothers, you'll come at Esau, and not realize that these things are going to be responded upon in the spirit. So the same things basically is what I'm trying to say. It's the same things that you're going into, prepare yourself for that fight, spiritually. When you're doing these videos, understand when, just like when Job, in the book of Job, where Satan was traveling to and fro throughout the earth, when he had the meeting with the Heavenly Father in the heavens, he was basically asking, can he try Job in either which way? And you got to take out the name Job and put your name there, because for sure you are a part of that, especially when you come to serve the Lord. As the scriptures say in Sirach 2, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation, the test. Why? Because that conversation that was had about Job, I believe in the 2nd chapter, that same conversation that Satan was having with the Most High, they're having it about you. And when we do this work on the right hand side, it grieves the devil. You know, when you uplift Yahweh Shema Shah, it grieves the devil. So when you put out these topics, you know, when you want to highlight something in the spirit, you know, to the rest of the brethren, the spirits that Satan is fighting, then Satan is going to try to hold you at your words. So basically the message is, don't be surprised when that situation come upon you. You know, you got to embrace it. You know, I remember just having that conversation with one of the officer brothers, you know, the officers in the DC church, you know, and that brother in particular had the right attitude, had the same attitude as what I'm explaining. You know, as you got this situation, you're not being all fucking, damn man, woe is me, man, you know, this, that, and the third. You know, it's more so like, yo, I know I spoke on it, you know, I know I asked for this in the spirit, and I'm ready to conquer that shit. I'm ready to show Satan that, yeah, I'm about what I say. And that's also, fuck it, Salakia, the hell with Satan. You're showing the Lord. And ultimately the Lord know you can do it because he's allowing you to be tested by it. You know? So remember the spiritual fight. It's cool to do it, but be ready for it whenever it come upon you. You know? If you out here, you making the videos, you saying on the streets, the highways and hedges, you ready to die, understand in the spirit and in the flesh that you may have to face that, and you got to structure your mindset towards it. You know, you always got to have your sword and your shield when you at war. You know, so when you swinging your sword, be prepared to use that shield, man, because Satan is coming. Satan is coming, and he wasn't created to half-step this. He wasn't created to bullshit, man. Satan is trying to win. He's trying to take your soul. He's trying to have you serve him and denounce the Heavenly Father, man. He wants to starve out your spirit. You know? So yeah, man, that was just something, you know, I know I'm just going, you know, all over the place, but Lord's will, you know, this message reached, you know, a brother, you know, is supposed to reach, you know, through the spirit, you know, because, you know, when you're a little young in this truth, you know, you're more liable to say anything and just do anything, you know, which is cool, but you got to be ready for that fight to try you, you know. But that's the point, man. That's the message, you know. Yeah, I just end it right there. You know, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shem, Kavadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders of the great millstone, Ruba, and towards the truth, and shalom to the elect.